Today's class is on listening, and our objectives, as you can see projected on your screen. First, you want to learn strategies to improve our listening. Strategies that will help us when you find ourselves in different scenarios. And then, obviously, you are going to encounter new words. So, our second objective is to learn new words for our vocabulary. And then, thirdly and finally, we will learn reduced and connected speech. As is often the case when we speak, people tend to use these reduced form of speech, reduced and connected speech, which at times can be a bit confusing. So we are going to learn some of these. Now, if you remember our last class, listening, we listened to an audiobook, very good, excerpt of the audiobook titled, Robinson Crusoe, very good. Where we learned about a young guy, if you like, a young man who wanted to go on a voyage despite his father's advice against it. He decided to go, and we heard what he encountered on this. At least from the excerpt that we read, we got a hint into the story. Of course, that young man's name was, very good, Robinson Crusoe. So the name of the man is the title, and he narrates his story in the first person. Now, I hoped when we did that story, I hope some of you would go on and then read the story. How many of you are doing that? That is wonderful. So are you reading the book, actual book, or are you listening to audiobooks? You started listening to the audiobooks, but it goes a bit too fast for you, so you want to go back to the storybook. Excellent choice. So a very interesting story. You can go on and read and find out what happens. And as we've said countless times, the more you read, the better you are able to improve your English, be it speaking, or writing. So I encourage you to continue reading. Those of you who haven't started, I hope you take encouragement from your colleagues to start reading the book, or any book for that. Obviously, Robinson Crusoe is one of my favorites, so it's what I use, how to impress upon you with that. But you can find your own story that works for you, which you find easy reading, hopefully. So during that class, we learned some of these strategies. We introduced some of these strategies. So for example, during a speech, when you are present at a speech and we are listening, some of the strategies you can adopt, as we have mentioned, is you could take notes. And we looked particularly at the Cornell method of taking notes. And by the way, I would like to point out that these objectives, as we have set them out, as well as any other important details that we will mention in this class, and they will be available for you in the class WhatsApp group. All of you are on it. So after the class, I'll just refer you back to this in case you've missed something. Remember, one of those strategies we mentioned is you can record. So thanks to technology, even without recording here, you can put some of these on WhatsApp, Facebook, so that you can go and refer to it in case you miss some of these important details. So I'll refer these, I'll post these objectives as well as some of the important details that we mentioned in the WhatsApp group. At least for this, there will be the link to the Google document will be there, so that you can go on and then have a look share ideas on the group, and you can discuss, and of course, making sure that your discussions and engagements with the group falls within the established rule. Remember, I'm there. I try as much as possible not to invade in your discussions, but remember, I'm there to moderate. I'm there, and then I'm watching whatever happens. So make sure to stay within the guidelines and the rules. Yeah, so we looked at the notes taking. You can take notes, and we look at the Cornell method. Yes, so that is typical example of a model of your page. When you take notes, we have the area where you can jot down points, and then you can go on to and then give details, and then to summarize. Yes, so apart from taking notes, we also mentioned that yes, you can record. You can record the speaker, and then go back and then listen to it at your own pace. But remember, we mentioned that recording may not be appropriate in some scenarios. For example, if you're in a private conversation with somebody, if you want to record, you have to let them know that I want to record. It is to be unethical for you to be recording somebody, one-on-one discussions with them when you're recording them, and then not making them aware. That is not ethical at all. So these are strategies in during a speech, a presentation, a monologue. What about strategies you can use during informal discussions with colleagues? Yes. So it's not a speech by one particular person. You are in the gathering with your colleagues who happen to be native speakers, and then as you happen to miss something. What are some? Yes. So a number of strategies. You can tell them to repeat, or you can ask somebody closer to you to explain, or you can just let it pass, pretend as if you're okay with that, and then later look for explanation as to what happened. Yes, so number of strategies we can use. Yes. So today's class we will also will again listen to some, this time not an audio book. We'll go on a favorite platform, I'm sure, of everybody in this generation. You are going on YouTube, you are going to watch interesting videos, and that will be the basis form the basis of our activity. So these videos, we'll look at interesting videos, those I'm sure you would like, and then those will be the videos for our listening activities. You all have your sets. Yes. So you break into your own group. But before that, I want us to all look at what happens. All of us will do one general discussion. Before we break you into groups for you to watch your own videos. So until we get there, I would like you to concentrate on what I have on my screen.